Welcome back to the channel, everybody. How you doing? I just want to say I appreciate you guys being here. Today we are going to talk about something I want to talk about for a while. The third book to the Doppelganger series, aka Flowers in the Attic. It's a series. I didn't know that until I started reading the first book. Fun fact, we're going to talk about this. This is a mass paperback. It bugs me because now I have 3 hardcovers of the series, and the third one I do not have yet. So yes, I read If There Be Thorns by V.C. Andrews. This book is so interesting. So I'm going to try really hard not to do spoilers. There might be a little bit of spoilers from the second book and from the first book, but I'm going to try really hard not to. I'm just going to talk about things I liked, things I didn't like, and my final thoughts of this book. And then I got the fourth book, which is a prequel to with the grandma when she's like a little girl, which I am mentally not prepared for that one. I might be reading that one in like November, but we'll see. And then I'm going to do a giant review of the whole series as a whole, and then we'll go from there. So this book takes place when Kathy and Chris are in their mid-30s, mid to late 30s. Kathy is 37, Chris is 39. Kathy is still working at the dance studio that she owns from the sequel, and Chris is still a doctor. And they moved out west in Cali, good old California. Now she has her her teenage boy Jory, which was her first son and from a prequel, and then she has her second son Bart. V.C. Andrews writes this book. It starts off with Kathy talking to you, telling you, this is not my story to tell, this is the story for my boys to tell you. And you have different POVs of Jory's POV, and then you have Bart's POV, which is different than what she usually has done in the first 2 books, because it was all through Kathy's POV. And then how this book ends is, well, Kathy's POV. So I really do enjoy different points of view, and I have said this plenty of times, I feel like, but V.C. Andrews can freaking write. She can write characters so well, and the way that she talks about and how she talks about just emotion in general hits you in a whole other level that I never thought I would be able to get hit. But this woman can friggin' spin some spells. There's a reason why she wrote like 1 million books. V.C. Andrews, holy crap, what have you done to me? This is such a crazy book that I never thought I would get to. Like I said, there's gonna be some spoilers. Now, at the end of the second book, Chris visits their mother, Corinne, in a mental institution. Of course, Kathy refuses to go because, well, she has trauma with her mother. That makes sense. The thing I'm gonna say that about this book is trauma is generational sometimes. The way that parents will have trauma from maybe their own parents sometimes can get passed on to their own kids. And V.C. Andrews writes in such a cool way that there is trauma, but the way that the parents do go about it is Kathy and Chris try not to do the same things that happen to them. And this book starts off with Kathy like in the attic of their own house dancing and stuff, and Chris gets really upset, and Jory's like, why, what's going on? You get to learn a lot about Bart. Bart is the youngest. He is the youngest, which usually means, oh well, he's gonna be babied the most, but he doesn't. Bart, there's a lot of things wrong with Bart. Now when I say things are wrong with Bart, not really, he's just a kid. I'm saying why there's things wrong with him is because he himself is telling you in the book what's wrong with him. It's always his fault. It's always Bart this, Bart's that, Bart's always messy, Bart's short. So when you're reading this book, you kind of do feel bad for Bart, and the influence of what happens with Bart through this book is so well done that you really do feel bad for him. And then you get the crazy thing is where they have this like weird spooky house that's next to him, and Jory and Bart go over there all the time to play in it. Typical boy things, that's what all the boys do. I did that a lot when I was younger. But they start seeing someone move in there, and guess what? It's Corinne. They're Kathy and Chris's mother. Their grandma moved in. And for the rest of this book, you start to peel the onion of learning. These boys learn what truly has been happening to their mother and their, uncle/dad. I know it's gross, but yes, they are married. Chris and Kathy are married. And there's reasons why they are. And like I said, it is what it is. I fully accepted it after the first book. I was like, all right, well, they're stuck together. And then book 2 is just, yep, they're stuck together. Just how it is. But you start to learn so much stuff in this that it just blows my mind, because I thought it would be kind of boring because it's like, we already know this. But then you learn from how Jory and Bart react to it, and the way that she wrote Bart. I have never said this before, but I really hated Bart a lot, because Bart was really, really hard to like. But I think she did that for a reason. The way that Bart uses hatred in this book is what I think she wanted you as the reader to feel towards Bart. Yes, you could feel bad for Bart. I did. I really did feel bad for him, but I also, I'm like, I hate this kid so much. And I feel so bad for saying it, but it's the truth. I felt a hatred towards him. But I think she successed at doing that because she wanted you to truly hate Bart. And then you figure out what happens at the end regardless, and you still kind of feel that way with Bart because of what happened to Bart. You really do. It's so fun because it's like Jory's like the light and Bart is the darkness. In this, you get to see the dark side, then you get to see the light side. It's not like Star Wars, but you get to see both sides. And the way that Jory looks at his family versus how Bart looks at his family, it's just a really cool dynamic. And then you get this little girl in here that they adopt, and Bart becomes the middle child, so then you get middle child syndrome. It's just so fun. And the way that she writes this book is just awesome. I really am happy with this. Now, my only complaint about this is she kind of did this well, but it is because it's through Bart and Jory's POV. I kind of wish Kathy and Corinne, you actually had a POV of those two having a one-on-one conversation. I kind of wish you had that. Now, there was times where it did happen through Bart's lens, which is fine, but I just really wanted Kathy's POV for that. And my other complaint about it is I felt like Kathy was kind of weak in this, because Kathy throughout the first two books is a really strong character, and she is arguably probably one of my favorite female characters in all my books I've ever read. So in this one, I expected her to be still like pretty hard, like headstrong and everything else that she's always been, but in this one I felt like she was a little weaker, and maybe it's just because she's grown of age that she didn't have to keep these like guards up. Maybe, I have no idea, but I really did enjoy this book. Nonetheless, this is definitely the weakest one, I think, out of the three that I read. But we'll be reading book 4, and I actually have seen on Goodreads that this is rated, the 4th book is rated the lowest, while this one and the first 2 are rated really high. I think this is the 3rd lowest, and then the 2nd one, it's like, 1 through 4. But to me, yes, it's you definitely can see like some issues that I'm like, but I kind of got around it. But regardless, I still really like this book. Now, if I give this book a rating, it'd be a 4.5 out of 5. I think it was a really fun book. I actually do recommend people to read the series, but I am going to warn you, there is a lot of things that you should be prepared for in the future, because there is some dark things that happen in this series, and it's generational. That's the honest to God truth. Not even through just her mother, it's through her grandfather. So it's just generational. From her grandfather, from Kathy's grandfather all the way down to her son, and it's probably going to keep going from Bart to whoever he has children with. That's what makes it so scary. If you guys made it to the end of the video, I do appreciate it. What do you guys think of If There Be Thorns? If you guys have read it, have you guys read any of the Ganger series? Have you read the first ones? I would love to know down below. And of course, make sure you guys stay safe, stay humble, and tell someone you love them. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay weird.